Hasta la vista, baby.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is a famous actor, bodybuilder, politician, and businessman who managed to realize his American dream. In this video, we'll tell you about how a poor immigrant managed to turn into a governor and a Hollywood actor with a huge fortune. Arnold Schwarzenegger, how Terminator lives and how he spends his millions. Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger was born on July 30th, 1947, in the community of Thal, Austria, into a Catholic family of Gustav and Aurelia. It is known that in 1938, his father joined the Nazi army of Germany, which Arnold would be very ashamed of in the future. Although his father didn't have any proven war crimes, during the Second World War, Gustav participated in the siege of Leningrad, where he was seriously wounded. Arnold's parents got married in 1945. At that time, Gustav was 38 years old, and Aurelia was 23 years old. For the girl, this marriage was her second. Her first husband died in the war. In 1946, Gustav and Aurelia had their first child, Meinhard, and a year later, Arnold, who became an outcast in the family, all because Gustav suspected his wife of infidelity and believed that Arnold was not his biological son. Schwarzenegger's childhood cannot be called happy because his duties included getting up at 6 in the morning and doing all the hard work before school. For any mistake, his father, who worked as the local chief of police, severely punished him and even gave him the nickname Cinderella. In addition, the family lived very poorly, but this only motivated Arnold to become successful in the future. Gustav was an athlete and demanded the same from his sons, so Arnold played soccer from a young age and a little later started weightlifting. When the boy turned 14, he went with a friend to Vienna to watch the World Weightlifting Championships. Arnold was among the spectators watching Soviet weightlifter Yuri Vlasov win the world title, becoming the first person to lift 445 pounds over his head. Schwarzenegger was so impressed by what he saw that he decided that day he would devote his life to bodybuilding. Since then, Arnold began to train daily, and on weekends, when the gym was closed, he would break in through the window and work out even harder. His parents were concerned with their son's new hobby. His mother, seeing posters of half-naked muscular men in his room, even suspected Arnold of being gay, and his father was dissatisfied with the nationality of his main idol, Vlasov, and demanded to find a German or Austrian icon. At 17, Arnold participated in his first bodybuilding competition in Graz, where he took second place. At 18, he was drafted into the army for a year. It was impossible to call Schwarzenegger a good soldier. During his service, he managed to drown a tank in a river, destroy a hangar, and even go AWOL just to participate in the Mr. Europe contest. Because of this violation, he was sent to the guardhouse, but after learning that he took first place in that competition, the officers released him and even gave him a 2-day vacation. After his service ended in 1966, Schwarzenegger went to Munich, where he got a job at a fitness club. It is worth noting that back then, Arnold severed ties with his father and brother, who had humiliated him, and in the future, he didn't even attend their funerals. In Munich, the young man didn't have enough money at first, and he had to sleep on the floor in the gym. In addition, matters would get worse because of constant fines for street fights, which he initiated almost every day. In the same year, Arnold went to London for the Mr. Universe contest, where he unexpectedly took second place. The following year, he managed to win the long-awaited title at 20, becoming the youngest winner in the entire history of the competition. At the same time, Schwarzenegger participated in international powerlifting tournaments, where he repeatedly became a champion. The young man always wanted to live in the USA, and in 1968, he realized his dream by moving to California, where he continued his training. At first, Schwarzenegger stayed in the country illegally, and he was able to obtain citizenship only in 1983. In addition, the young man spoke English rather poorly, but it didn't prevent him from reaching for success. Back then, Schwarzenegger already earned his first million a few years before the start of his acting career. Arriving in California, he opened a bricklaying business with a friend. Because of the earthquake in San Fernando, the demand for building materials increased, and with it, the company's profit. The guys invested the money they earned in a new business, mailing out equipment and VHS tapes with instructions for bodybuilding and fitness. In 1969, Arnold met a teacher, Barbara Baker, who became his first love. The young man, of course, was infamous for numerous affairs, but before meeting Barbara, he didn't really love anyone. In the same year, Schwarzenegger participated for the first time in the Mr. Olympia contest, where he took second place. In the next year, he managed to win the competition and at 23, became the youngest champion in the entire history of the competition. This record hasn't been broken so far. At the same time, his acting career began. Arnold's film debut was the lead role in Hercules in New York in 1970, but in the credits, he appeared under the last name Strong, since his real one seemed too difficult.
What's your second name? Hercules what?
As I've told you, I'm Hercules, the son of Zeus.
I don't think it needs any disrespect, Captain. It probably loses in the translation.
All right. Sign him on as Hercules Zeus since he says that's his father's name, and give him an OS rating, bosun.
Aye, sir.
His character's lines were also dubbed over because of his strong Austrian accent. A joke started circulating in Hollywood that only Schwarzenegger's accent is thicker than his muscles. Arnold considers his debut role the most unsuccessful. At the same time, it brought him $12,000. Then there were the roles in the films Happy Anniversary and Goodbye, The Streets of San Francisco, The San Pedro Beach Bums, and Stay Hungry. For the latter, Schwarzenegger was awarded the Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year. Meanwhile, Arnold had no equal in bodybuilding. For 6 years, he was the permanent holder of the title Mr. Olympia and rightfully became a bodybuilding legend. Having reached all possible heights, Schwarzenegger announced his retirement from sports in 1975. A year before this event, he broke up with his beloved. The reason was Arnold's unwillingness to marry and have children, which the girl wanted so much. After parting with Barbara, he met hairdresser Sue Murray, who shared his views on an open relationship. In 1977, Schwarzenegger, while in a relationship, started dating the journalist Maria Shriver, the niece of the 35th U.S. President John F. Kennedy. This went on for a year, after which Sue insisted that Arnold decide between the girls. He chose Maria, whose relatives, by the way, were not happy about the potential son-in-law. During that period, Schwarzenegger starred in several films: The Villain, Scavenger Hunt, The Jane Mansfield Story, and Conan the Barbarian. The latter can be considered his first successful in his career.
Priest's robe?
Yes, it's all I have.
Good. That's all you'll ever need.
Even though he was nominated for the Golden Raspberry Anti-Award for the Worst Male Role, the actor's payout then amounted to $250,000. Arnold performed all the stunts himself, so he returned to strength training. Having got in good shape, he decided to participate in the Mr. Olympia contest again, which he won. In 1984, the actor appeared in the sequel, Conan the Destroyer, which brought him $1 million. Later, the film Conan the Conqueror was supposed to come out, but Arnold was busy with another project, so the trilogy remained unfinished. In the same year, the action movie The Terminator was released, which became the most recognizable film with Schwarzenegger. His character's phrase, "I'll be back," became the hallmark of the actor.
I'll be back.
And also appeared in 37th place in the list of the 100 best quotes from films. Interestingly, the scene with this phrase took 9 takes to film. For The Terminator, Arnold earned $750,000 and was also nominated for the Saturn Award for Best Actor.
I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
You're close. Give them to me, now.
Fuck you, asshole!
In 1985, the rising star was invited to star in the action movie Commando, which was well received by the public and brought Schwarzenegger $1.5 million.
You scared, motherfucker? Well, you should be, because this Green Beret's gonna kick your big ass.
I ate green berets for breakfast. And right now I'm very hungry.
I can't believe this macho bullshit.
The actor performed all the stunts himself simply because it was hard to find a stuntman with the same physique. Although the lovemaking scene he did was so unconvincing that they had to cut it. In the same year, the film Red Sonja was released, in which Danish actress Brigitte Nielsen became Arnold's partner on the set. A stormy relationship flared between them, although at that time, Arnold was already engaged to Maria. After the filming was completed, the actor broke up with Nielsen, who didn't want to stay a mistress and threatened to tell his fiancée everything. Then Schwarzenegger introduced Brigitte to his friend Sylvester Stallone, whom she soon married. In 1986, Arnold got married too, with Maria Shriver. He had 4 children: Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher. A few months after the wedding, the film Raw Deal was released, in which he got the lead role. Schwarzenegger's acting career was gaining momentum, and with it, the payouts were growing. In 1987, he starred in 2 films, Predator and The Running Man, for which he earned $3 million and $5 million respectively. Both films were well received by the public, and for Predator, Arnold was even nominated for Best Actor at the Saturn Film Award. At the same time, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 1988, Schwarzenegger appeared in the film Red Heat. His payout was $8 million. In the same year, with his appearance in the movie Twins with Danny DeVito, the actor proved that he can play comedy roles perfectly.
My name is Julius, and I'm your twin brother.
Oh, obviously. The moment I sat down, I thought I was looking into a mirror.
The movie creator couldn't afford to pay the 2 actors, so they agreed to a percentage of sales, and it was worth it. The comedy had such a resounding success at the box office that Arnold received his biggest income of $35 million. The actor has repeatedly stated that he considers this film the best in his career. In the early 1990s, Schwarzenegger starred in the films Kindergarten Cop, for which he received $12 million, Total Recall for $10 million, and Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, or later, dickwad. And if someone gets upset, you say chill out. Or you could do combinations.
Chill out, dickwad.
That's great.
For the last 2 films, Arnold was nominated for the Best Actor category at the Saturn Film Awards. By the way, the actor preferred to receive the $15 million for the second part of the Terminator in kind, and asked for a Gulfstream III plane. Then, Schwarzenegger added the following films to his filmography: Dave, Beretta's Island, Last Action Hero, Junior, and True Lies. For the latter 3, Arnold received payouts for $15 million each. Those works were awarded various nominations, and most of them Arnold received for the action movie True Lies in the categories Best Actor, Best Kiss, and Best Dance Sequence.
Do you still love your husband?
Yes, I love him. I've always loved him.
In 1996, Arnold appeared in the comedy Jingle All the Way and in the action movie Eraser, where his partner on set was Vanessa Williams, with whom, according to rumors, he had a fleeting affair. For each of the films, the actor earned $20 million. In the next few years, Schwarzenegger starred in the films Batman and Robin, End of Days, and The Sixth Day. Even though the actor earned $72 million in total for these films, his acting was heavily criticized, and for each of these roles, he was nominated for the Golden Raspberry Anti-Award as the worst actor. In the early 2000s, Arnold appeared in the films Collateral Damage, for which he earned $25 million, and Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, for a payout of about $30 million.
EX is designed to terminate other cybernetic organisms.
So, she's an anti-Terminator. Terminator? You've got to be shitting me.
No, I am not shitting you.
After the release of the long-awaited sequel, Schwarzenegger announced his retirement from the film industry and the beginning of his political career. Despite the skepticism, in 2003, he was elected the 38th governor of California with 1.3 million votes. Even though Arnold's wife is a representative of the Democratic Kennedy clan, Schwarzenegger himself is a dedicated Republican. Arnold's political activity caused a contradictory reaction from the public, and the powerful opposition seriously lowered his rating. But in 2006, Schwarzenegger was re-elected for a second term, during which he stood out for his policy of reducing costs, refusing the governor's salary, but all the efforts to save money by laying off civil servants and raising taxes ended with mass protests by trade unions. As a result, the state led by Arnold suffered more than the others from the consequences of the global crisis. During this period, Arnold did not have time to act in movies. In 2004, the pre-film film Around the World in 80 Days was released, for the role in which he was nominated for another Golden Raspberry. By the way, in 2005, Arnold still received a special anti-award, becoming the worst Razzie loser of the first 25 years. Schwarzenegger stepped away from political affairs only for The Expendables in 2010, where he played a cameo role. Even in the fourth part of The Terminator, they had to use a digital image of the actor. In 2011, Arnold's second and last term as governor came to an end, so he returned to the cinema. According to some reports, during his political career, the actor missed the opportunity to earn $200 million in the film industry. Changes have also occurred in his personal life. After 25 years of marriage, Arnold announced that he and his wife were divorcing. Maria loved her husband very much and turned a blind eye to numerous infidelities, but she couldn't forgive one of them. The reason was their governess Mildred, whose son Joseph was surprisingly similar to Schwarzenegger. When Maria figured out that Joseph was Arnold's son, the marriage ended. In 2012, the actor appeared in The Expendables 2, for which he earned $10 million, even though all his scenes were shot in just 5 days.
I need a weapon, something big. Yours!
Whoa, 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 whoa. My big weapon's hanging right where it is.
Come on, Caesar, you gotta back up.
If I don't get this back, your ass is terminated.
In your dreams.
In his spare time, Arnold gives motivational lectures around the world. He has written many books on bodybuilding, and in 2012, his autobiography Total Recall came out. The following year, Arnold starred in the films The Last Stand with a payout of $5 million in Escape Plan. Then he added several others to his filmography, like Sabotage, Maggie, 2.5 Men, and The Expendables 3. And for the latter, he received another nomination for Golden Raspberry. In 2015, the film Terminator Genesis was released.
Won't be needing any clothes. I've been waiting for you.
It was decided not to hide Arnold Schwarzenegger's age with CGI. Instead, the writers decided to explain that the living tissue that covers the Terminator can age, and the robot's hair can turn gray. During the same period, it became known about Arnold's affair with physiotherapist Heather Milligan, who is 27 years younger than him. In 2017, Arnold appeared in the films Kill Gunther and Aftermath, which turned out to be commercially unsuccessful. In 2019, he starred in the films Terminator, Dark Fate, and V2, Journey to China, for which he again received a nomination for Golden Raspberry.
Go back and exercise, gentlemen. Affect your bodies. Remember, a healthy body houses a healthy mind. Mens sana in corpore sano. Exercise!
Even though Schwarzenegger's acting is constantly being criticized, offers from directors continue to come, and soon, we will see new films with Iron Arnold. In 2021, Schwarzenegger's divorce process, which lasted 10 years, was completed. It took that long because the spouses hadn't signed a prenup at the time, so they had to share their jointly acquired property, and there was a lot of it. Today, Arnold's fortune is estimated at $450 million, which he earned through films, lectures, and advertising contracts. Arnold appeared in advertisements for a Japanese energy drink, BMW iX electric car, World of Tanks, and Mobile Strike games, Bud Light beer, and others. Schwarzenegger invested money in securities of large companies, including Coca-Cola, Starbucks, and Google. Most of all, the actor liked to invest money in real estate. Nowadays, the value of Arnold's commercial real estate alone exceeds $100 million. But still, the center of his financial empire is the company Oak Productions, through which he receives payouts from film studios and percentages from comic and video game sales. At one time, the Schwarzeneggers owned a restaurant in Santa Monica, but in 1998, the establishment was sold. Also, together with LeBron James, Arnold founded a dietary supplement production company. Before the divorce, the couple lived in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, where their children grew up. The mansion has an area of about 11,000 square feet. It includes 9 bedrooms, several living rooms, a spacious kitchen, and a dining room. There is also a garden, a patio, a swimming pool with a unique geometric shape, and a tennis court. In 2013, this family nest was sold for $13 million. Now the Hollywood star lives in a 1-story house with a large plot of land on the outskirts of Los Angeles with his favorite pets, Husky Dutch, Yorkshire Terrier Cherry, Donkey Lulu, and Pony Whiskey. Arnold owns a huge collection of cars, which includes Dodge Challenger SRT8, Excalibur Series 3 Phaeton, Hummer H1, Dodge M37, exclusive Jeep Grand Wagoneer Governator, Porsche 911, Mercedes SLS, Gallon Wagon Chrysler with an electric motor, Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport Vitesse, a Mercedes model specially created for Iron Arnold, and even a real M47 tank, the model he drove in the army. The actor bought it from the Austrian government for $1.4 million. The celebrity spends a significant part of his income on charity. Back in 1995, Schwarzenegger founded an organization that provides an opportunity for children from low-income families to get an education. The foundation also helps fight against HIV, AIDS, and other diseases. For example, in 2020, Arnold allocated $1 million to support medical workers, and in 2021, spent $250,000 to build 25 houses for veterans. In addition, he collaborated with the organization Veloce, which is engaged in the popularization of electric vehicles. Now Iron Arnold is rightfully considered a fan's favorite. A monument was erected in his honor. A programming language and even a Costa Rican ground beetle were named after him. And the Guinness Book of Records called him the most perfectly developed man in the history of the world. Do you like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Ip Man, how Donnie Yen lives and what he spends his millions on. The actor's real name is Yen Chitan, and he was born on July 27, 1963 in the southern Chinese city of Guangzhou, also known as Canton. In the Beijing dialect, his surname is pronounced Zhen, and Yen is the Cantonese pronunciation. The father of the family, Kleister Yen, was a violinist, and his mother, Bao Sim Mak, was a vocalist in the Guangzhou Symphony Orchestra. There they met, but 2 years after the birth of their son, the family split up. The father and the child emigrated to Hong Kong, but the authorities did not allow Mark to move. Only at the age of 9, the boy managed to see his mother again, and the family was finally reunited with the birth of his younger sister Chris. During the separation, Mark mastered martial arts and dreamed of opening her own school in Hong Kong. But she ran into the local mafia there, and the market was already divided. Mark also taught her children martial arts. Therefore, it's not surprising that Chris is also a master of martial arts. And in the thousands, she tried herself in the cinema. The parents also cultivated a love of music in their children. Donnie plays the piano and several other instruments very well, but his main passion remained martial arts. The boy studied specialized books and repeated everything, regardless of style. When he was 11 years old, the Yen family moved to the United States, settling into the suburbs of Boston. Across the ocean, Donnie's father worked as an editor of a Chinese-language newspaper, and Mark finally managed to realize her dream and founded the Chinese Wushu Research Institute. The school quickly became popular, and Donnie became one of the best students. He closely watched movies with his favorite actor-fighters, Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, and repeated their tricks. but he treated Chuck Norris with disdain because he could easily distinguish which films show real Chinese martial arts and which are fake. As a teenager, Donnie began practicing Japanese karate, Korean taekwondo, and Western boxing, as well as hip-hop and breakdancing. He started skipping school and spent time in the infamous Combat Zone, the criminal district of Boston. The teenager participated in underground MMA fights, started leading a nightlife, and even joined a gang. To protect her son from gang life, Donnie's mom sent him to Beijing on a 4-year training program with the Beijing Wushu team. In 1983, Yen decided to return to the United States, intending to establish his own martial arts school in Hollywood. But before leaving, he stopped by Hong Kong so that a friend of his mother, at her own request, would evaluate Donnie's fighting abilities. This friend was the director Yuen Wu-ping, who immediately invited the young man to audition for his new comedy thriller Drunken Tai Chi, also known as Drunken Tai Chi Master.
That'll teach you to fool around with me, little boy!
Young master, are you okay, sir? That fat bitch, it's only because she weighs 2 tons she is.
In just 5 minutes, Yen impressed the crew and was approved for the lead role. The film was released in 1984, but Donnie didn't like the filming process. He was annoyed by the director, who explained almost nothing but would yell if he didn't like something. At that time, Yen didn't think for a minute that he could stay in the cinema for a long time, and nevertheless, the collaboration with Yuen Wu-ping continued. A year later, the film Mismatched Couples was released, on the set of which the actor suffered a severe injury to his right shoulder. It still bothers him to this day. This was followed by 2 parts of the film Tiger Cage and the action movie In the Line of Duty 4, Witness, also directed by Yuen Wu-ping. The master revealed to Donnie the specifics of staging combat scenes in movies, and over the years of cooperation, the actor has worked out his own style of on-screen combat. Then Donnie began to work with other directors and starred in the films Holy Virgin vs. the Evil Dead, Crystal Hunt, New Dragon Gate Inn, Cheetah on Fire, Butterfly and Sword, but the role in the action movie Once Upon a Time in China 2, where he starred with Jet Li in 1992, became a landmark for Yen.
黃師傅不愧係民團總教練，失禮，大人見笑。頭先只不過向黃師傅請教幾招，黃師傅嘅少林棍法果然名不虛傳。
This work earned Donnie a nomination for the Hong Kong Film Award in the category Best Supporting Actor. In 1993, the actor reunited with Wu-ping on the set of the action movie Iron Monkey.
有冇聽過鐵馬騮？雞之航文啦，你想揾佢咩？如果俾我揾到佢，我一定扭甩佢個頭。
And the film turned out to be a success and was remembered for the fight scene with Shaolin monks, which Donnie directed. Ironically, this particular fragment was largely the result of film editing and flying on cables, but almost all other scenes were painstakingly choreographed. Iron Monkey was all the more remarkable because a few years later after its release in Asia, it was acquired by the Miramax Film Studio, reworked, re-recorded, and shown in US cinemas. After the premiere in New York and Los Angeles, the film received critical acclaim from American critics and a prize at the Taurus Award ceremony, the annual award of the World Academy of Stuntmen for the best stunts in cinema. In November of the same 1993, Donnie Yen married model Leong Xingqi, but their family life lasted less than a year. After the breakup, Leong found out that she was pregnant, and in 1995, their son Manziok Yen was born. During this time, the actor starred in the films Hero Among Heroes, Wing Chun, where he also acted as a composer writing the soundtrack, as well as High Voltage. In the latter, he made his debut as a co-director, and in 1996, the sequel to Iron Monkey was released. Next, the audience saw the action films Ballistic Kiss, Shanghai Affairs, and Legend of the Wolf.
I hope to remember who I was after seeing you. You can't understand. Every night I have nightmares. It's terrible. I can't remember.
All 3 were directed by Yen himself. The latter is also known as the new big boss and has become a true cult classic. After his divorce from his first wife, Donnie began dating an actress and fashion model from Hong Kong named Joey Meng. Their relationship ended in 2000, but one episode that happened in the late 90s stands out a lot. The young people went to relax in one of the nightclubs in Hong Kong, and when Donnie went to make an order, 8 heavily drunk men showed unwelcomed interest in Joey. They were not stopped by the presence of the boyfriend, nor his warning to move away. When the couple left the club, the company continued to chase them on the street and attacked Yen. It was a big mistake because in the end, all 8 men ended up in the hospital with fractures, abrasions, concussions, and bruises. Donnie himself only suffered a minor bruise and was arrested the next day, but was released almost immediately when the police found out it was self-defense. In 2000, the fantasy action film Highlander Endgame with Adrian Paul and Christopher Lambert in the lead roles was released.
One day soon, we will all serve very little purpose to Cal except death.
It was the first American film in which Donnie Yen was cast. He played the immortal Jin Ki and choreographed the fight scenes. The next film, Blade 2, was also an American production. And then Donnie returned to his homeland and starred with Jet Li in the fantasy action movie Hero. The movie made Yen popular among the public of mainland China, and when released in wide theaters in the United States, it became one of the most successful foreign language films ever distributed in the American market. Yen's next work was the 2003 American-Hong Kong action movie Shanghai Nights with his favorite actor Jackie Chan.
I hope there will be more trust between us when I'm emperor and you are the new king.
At the same time, the actor's second marriage took place. He married Cecilia Wang. She was previously a model and won the Miss China beauty pageant in Toronto in 2000. They met through mutual friends at one of the parties. Their friends thought it was funny that People magazine called Yen the diamond of fighting movies, and Cecilia's parents were engaged in the jewelry business. They turned out to have a lot in common. Both grew up in the West and in the East, into musicians' families, and besides, they had the same taste and views on life. Cecilia didn't watch films starring Yen, but she was impressed by his sense of humor and excellent manners. A few months later, the couple got engaged. Donnie was very anxious about the acquaintance with her father because he had quite strict rules, and the age difference between the bride and groom was almost 20 years. But after talking privately for a while, Wang Sr. commonly asked when the wedding date was. Yen said that he was ready to burst into tears with happiness when he heard this. The wedding took place on August 30, 2003 in Canada on the shores of Lake Ontario in Toronto. A year later, they had a daughter, Jasmine, and then a son, James. Donnie often arranges romantic surprises for his wife, gives flowers for every holiday, and on the first anniversary, he sang a serenade of his own composition to his beloved. On the 10th anniversary, he got a tattoo on the lower back with one of the hieroglyphs of her name, meaning poetry. The actor admits that his wife is not just a beloved woman for him, but also a friend, assistant, and business partner. A romantic in life, Yen continued to star in the action films The Twins Effect 2, Seven Swords, SPL, Chapeau Lang, and Dragon Tiger Gate. However, in 2004, he also appeared in one rom-com, Love on the Rocks. In 2007, Donnie played the main role in the film Flashpoint and received an award from the Hong Kong Film Award for choreographing the fights in it. The actor worked so hard on the set that he had to go to the doctors every 2 days to recover physically. A year later, the films Painted Skin, An Empress, and The Warriors were released, but the main hit was the action movie Ip Man, about the invincible Wing Chun master who opened his own martial arts school and became known as Bruce Lee's teacher.
You know, Captain Lee, we martial artists have a lot of energy. Sometimes we might be a bit loud, but that doesn't mean we're not civilized.
The plot of the film was close to the original biography of Ip Man with added fiction. In terms of combat choreography and biographical data, the crew was advised by the son of Master Ip Chun. Donnie Yen himself visited the city of Foshan, where the master lived, and spent a lot of time with his sons, listening to stories about their father, family life, and martial arts. Before the premiere of Ip Man, Donnie's fees were somewhere at the level of $1 million per film, but after that, the figure increased 3.5 times. In 2009, the actor appeared in a documentary about Bruce Lee, the action movie Bodyguards and Assassins, and the historical drama The Founding of a Republic. This film was released to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the foundation of the People's Republic of China, and many Chinese actors were eager to star in it, all be in a cameo role and for free. Donnie Yen played one of the members of the Communist Party, thereby showing his loyalty to mainland China, not Hong Kong. By the way, he was repeatedly criticized for this position and ignoring the ongoing protests in Hong Kong. To one of these comments reproaching him for fighting for justice only on screen, Donnie replied that he was fighting for the Chinese people. It is worth noting that the most profitable fan base of Yen lives in mainland China. After the success of the first film about Ip Man, filming of the sequel began almost immediately. It was released in 2010.
單邊油條係你細嗰陣時話要食㗎嘛？我幾時講過啊？你真係唔記得咗啊？睇嚟我細個都幾風趣。
There was even less truth about the main character in it, but the story was generously favored with action scenes, and the fees exceeded the first part almost twice. Filming turned out to be difficult for Donnie. He fainted twice from overwork, and if in the previous film the creators collaborated with the master's son, this time he criticized Donnie Yen, calling him ungrateful. And the fact is that, according to the actor, the success of the films has nothing to do with the martial art of Wing Chun. Other representatives of the martial arts world and Donnie's colleagues joined the criticism. All in all, the actor is known for regularly quarreling with directors, calling them incompetent people, tyrants, and pushovers. He is unashamedly expressive, even towards the eminent masters. In the next few years, the actor starred in China and Hong Kong in such films as 14 Blades, Legends of the Fist, The Return of Chen Zhen, The Lost Bladesman, Dragon, as well as 2 comedies, All's Well Ends Well 2011 and 2012. This was followed by the release of Special ID. Together, The Monkey King, Iceman, Kung Fu Jungle, and Inspector Calls, and in December 2015, the premiere of Ip Man 3 took place.
今日我要收你咧，因為我將會係你最勁嗰度嚟。你憑咩咁諗啊？因為我個快。
Donnie explained the long break between the second and third parts by saying that many other films and TV projects about the character were coming out, and the market was somewhat oversaturated. This time, the plot virtually doesn't overlap with the real biography of the Great Master, but the formula for success with a large number of battle scenes worked again, and the film grossed $157 million with a budget of $36 million. Donnie's wife was very worried about her husband because he had to fight Mike Tyson on the set, but her fears were unfounded. On the contrary, Yen broke the famous boxer's finger. Back in 2015, the actor established the Yen's Honor Protection Fund in order to enable celebrities to defend themselves from slander. Donnie won the money with which the organization was founded in court against director Tan Bin. He accused Yen of refusing to work on his project, and he hired bots to threaten the actor's family. In 2016, the actor played the main role in the Netflix adventure thriller Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Sword of Destiny, and in the epic space opera Rogue One.
Really? He's praying for the door to open.
It bothers him because he knows it's possible.
Donnie doubted whether to accept the invitation to play in the latter because he needed to be away from his family for a long time to film it. But his children literally forced him. They were so excited that their dad was going to be in a movie with lightsabers and spaceships that he couldn't resist. There in the US, Yen replaced Jet Li, who left the project for unknown reasons in the action-adventure film XXX, Return of Xander Cage. The premiere took place in early 2017, and soon, the actor returned to his homeland to star in the crime drama Chasing the Dragon and the comedy thriller Big Brother. At the end of 2019, Ip Man 4, the finale, premiered. Despite Donnie Yen's statements that he didn't want to return to the series again, it is reported that his fee amounted to $12.8 million. In January 2020, the actor played a policeman who constantly gets into ridiculous situations in the comedy project Enter the Fat Dragon, and in March, the world saw him in the Disney movie Mulan. The actor got the role of Commander Tung, the mentor of the main character.
I'm your commanding officer. Fighting will not be tolerated, am I clear?
Yes, Commander.
In 2021, Donnie Yen appeared in the movie Raging Fire. In 2022, he starred in the fantasy New Kung Fu Cult Master 1 and in the adventure thriller Come Back Home. The release of the action movie The Father and the film adaptation of the popular video game Sleeping Dogs is also expected. But most fans are all waiting for the fourth part of the story about John Wick with Keanu Reeves. The project is at the post-production stage, that is, filming has already ended, and the main director of the combat scenes in this film doesn't hide the fact that he giggled like a boy while working with his childhood idol. Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and Michelle Yeoh consider Donnie Yen the best fighter in modern Asian cinema. He has a 6th-degree black belt in Taekwondo, a black belt in Judo, a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and continues to master new techniques. He also introduces mixed martial arts into Asian cinema. On his social media, the actor shows great athleticism, but understands that with age, his capabilities become more and more limited. He is not afraid that one day he won't be able to do what he is capable of doing now, and gradually switches to directing, producing, and other work on the other side of the camera. Donnie Yen also speaks several languages. He can speak Cantonese, Mandarin, and English fluently. During the filming of one of the films, he mastered Korean, and he can also understand the Shanghai dialect spoken by his wife's family. Donnie's yen fortune is estimated at 40 million. He is considered one of the highest paid actors in Asia. Movie shooting fees are usually 7 to 8 million, but in addition, Yen has his own clothing brand DY Edition and a brand of sunglasses, Donnie Eye. Besides, according to media reports, one commercial featuring the actor cost companies approximately $1 million. So he advertised a remedy for back pain, Hublot watches, BMW cars, the Nike sports brand, several video games, and together with his wife, they were the faces of the brand of orthopedic mattresses and pillows, Sinomax. Yen is also involved in several projects. For example, he called for the abandonment of plastic and appeared in an advertisement for the rescue services of Hong Kong. The actor is actively engaged in charity work, and in 2012, together with his wife, founded an online platform encouraging people to help others. He is an ambassador of the international organization Save the Children. In 2015, he visited refugee camps in Thailand, and in 2020, he donated $130,000 to medical workers in Wuhan. Yen has at least 6 properties in Hong Kong, each of which, except one, was bought for $1.5 million. The exception is a house in a prestigious area of Hong Kong, which cost $17 million. The media called this mansion the most stylish fortress with a gym and living room with a grand piano standing out in particular. It is reported that this property is 80% owned by Donnie's wife, and he owns only 20%. In the garage, the actor has several Lamborghinis, Bentley Continental GT, and Toyota Alphard for family trips, and his closet contains very expensive accessories. He wears a $14,000 Rolex and an Audemars Piguet worth about $70,000. And back in 2016, Donnie bought a horse named Bad Boy who participated in horse racing. The actor himself often attends horse races. Do you like movies with Donnie Yen? If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.